How's it going, you guys? It's Scott with Everyday Solar. Today we're kicking off a multi-day test where we're testing 3 different configurations you see behind me. First, we have 2 panels just facing south, statically mount, the simplest setup you could possibly have, then a single axis solar tracker, and then a dual axis solar tracker. How much difference do the solar trackers actually make? So you can have the information you need to make a smart decision on your own DIY solar setup. Let's jump into it. Now the key here is we want to run all 3 of these units simultaneously so they're experience exactly the same condition. So we need quite a bit of horsepower here in terms of portable power station. That's a Delta Pro 3 from EcoFlow. This is a Delta Pro from EcoFlow and another Delta Pro unit on the dual axis tracker. Here are the specs for the solar panels we'll be using, which are 405 watt panels I picked up used locally for $100 a panel. Wiring, very simple. We're just going to wire these 2 panels in series, and then once those are plugged into series, we'll have 2 MC4 connectors left, and then those will go to our jumper harness that will plug into the Delta Pro units. Now, best practice is to plug in your adapter cable. This is XT60i, that orange connector, and then we will plug it into this power analyzer in the load side. And then once that's connected, then we'll actually plug in the source side into the solar panels. And again, that's best practice just so you don't burn out your meter. If you plug the panels in first, sometimes you can damage some of the components in your system. Once those are plugged up, I'll just do a quick spot check and we'll see amperage on the upper left, voltage on the upper right, and then the resultant bottom right for our power. And then it scrolls through various parameters. Specifically, we're looking at watt hours is what we're going to be looking for. Now here's the conditions throughout the day. This is kind of the best part of our first day of testing. So we had some sun, but then we had quite a bit of rain move in. But before we get too deep, let's look into how much does it take to actually install the single axis and dual axis tracker. It is a little bit of a project and something you need to consider when you're deciding, are these right for your setup? First off, you need to spend time on your actual footings or the foundation for each of these. What I did is a 2x2 form here, 2 foot by 2 foot, and they call out that you would need to go down 27 inches. Now, if you looked at 80-pound bags of Quikrete or Sakrete, that would be about 14 bags. Now you do want to spend a lot of time here and level up your forms because this is what's going to determine what the level surface, the top surface of your footing or foundation is, and that's what your overall post is going to sit on, which will throw it out of plumb if it isn't perfectly level. Also, I dug a 16-inch diameter hole. I went down about 30 inches, and then I tied a number 4 rebar cage, that's 1/2-inch rebar, to give it more structural support. Using my Harbor Freight mixer and 80-pound bags of Sakrete, I prefer Sakrete over Quikrete. I'm not sure what you guys prefer. I just have a lot better results. Mix it up 1 bag at a time and then dumped it in the forms. Because I did that 16-inch diameter hole instead of a perfect cube like it's called out in the instructions, I only used 9 80-pound bags for my footing. Finishing off is very simple. Again, I just want to make sure that everything is perfectly flat and level on the top surface. So I do a little edging here on my forms, and remember to tap your forms to work that concrete down. And then I just go ahead and float that off about 30 minutes after pouring the original concrete. Now these kits are nice. They're actually really well labeled and laid out, and I think the overall quality is pretty high. I was really impressed with the overall kit quality right out of the box. Each of the hardware bags is numbered, and then each of the components has a letter on it, so it's very easy to follow along. Now this is first up with the single axis tracker. Spend your time and make sure you center up your posts marking each of the 8 mounting locations. Now I'm not going to use the standard sleeve anchors that come with. I prefer the Simpson Strong Tie, the Titan HDs. I just use these for a lot of projects and have a lot of success with them. You'll see a link in the description or this QR code if you're watching on your TV you can scan to get all the different tools and components like those that I use for your own reference if this project is ahead of you. Highly recommend a rotary hammer drill, not the hammer setting on your cordless drill. It's going to make a lot faster work of drilling out each of these holes, all 8 of them, and also vacuum out all the concrete dust and debris or blow it out with compressed air.
Once you have that and you're mounted up, making sure everything is facing correctly as labeled on your post, then you can just go through each of the steps to start to get your tracker assembled. This is the single axis tracker. It's a little simpler than the dual axis tracker, but it's overall a very similar process for both of these. Now, power, you will have to power these trackers with 12 volts. It's not going to power off the panels you're putting on top of them. So just make sure you make plans for that. I'm using the EcoWorthy specific battery and small solar panel that is exactly made for these kits to power them, and you'll see these small solar panels hanging off. That is powering the integrated battery that then powers the linear actuator or actuators on the dual axis. So here we're finishing up the dual axis, and these unistruts will hang out a little bit extra. Now, I'm only putting 2 panels on the dual axis. It can handle much more, so I will have some unistruts hanging off. I did trim those off, but you can just configure it however you're using it. Again, you can fit a lot more than 810 watts of panels, especially on the dual axis tracker.
So day one was kind of hit or miss. We had a lot of rain come through and had to get some tarps out and kind of cover up these guys. But day two is looking much, much better. The results from day one on the ground mount, we saw 651 watt hours collected. That is compared to the single axis was able to collect 689 watt hours, and the dual axis, as expected, was on top with 744 watt hours collected. So that would mean between ground mount and dual axis, you saw a 14% increase in the amount of energy that we are able to accumulate over our short test duration on that hit or miss day one. Now day two is just kicking off. I have the heat guns draining down the batteries on each one of the EcoFlow Delta units and a little bit of shade to move out before we'll be up and running. But today I expect to harvest much more energy to really see what is the difference when you have a really good day of sunshine between ground mount, single axis, and dual axis. In the meantime, let's look at a few things I did differently or lessons learned on the installation so you can apply those to your own install at your home. So for the single axis tracker, just to note, here is your light sensor. That is what's going to try to make the surface perpendicular to the sun. That is the 10 watt panel that comes with the kit that I bought from EcoWorthy to power this unit. It just goes right in the end of Unistrut. And if you see the clamps, they are a little different on the single axis compared to the dual axis. They just clip right onto the frame, and then you tighten the bolt to apply pressure to the Unistrut. It is nice having standard Unistrut on this because that gives you some flexibility where you could just buy additional Unistrut if you wanted to change the configuration, even though do not overload these or you're probably asking for failure. Here's the battery box. It's 6 amp hour, 12 volt battery, has a BMS battery management system built in and charge controller. For a little over $100, that is a good option to power this unit. Now, all in for the single axis with that integrated battery, I'm in for about $475 if I include my foundation. And then there is your simple control module. You have a static adjustment of your angle. I'm set at 15 degrees, which is a good summertime setting for where I live. And then for the linear actuator, I tried to invert it with the motor at the top to make it a little bit more robust to weather, but you can see the wire wasn't quite long enough, so I inverted it back to the original position, and if I wanted, I could extend that out. Now the spacing between these two is only 11 feet. That's because these footings are going to be used later on for supporting a lean-to off a modern shed build. If I was installing these permanently, I'd probably space them about 20 feet apart, because remember, especially on the 2-axis tracker, there is a larger version available which you can really stack some panels on. So early morning and late at night, that high side is going to be pretty darn high and cast quite the shadow, so just take that into account. Now with the dual axe, it has another feature. It has a wind speed sensor here that I need to mount permanently. That gives it the ability to set a threshold value. When you go over a certain wind speed, the actual panels will go flat to help protect the unit against wind. Now we have a lot more wind testing coming up on these units on this channel, so make sure you're subscribed for those to come out. There is that light sensor, and then I have the 10 watt panel on the other side, which is powering the EcoWorthy battery box, which is powering the unit. Again, you can do your own configuration, but for around $100, I think that is a pretty darn good value to get up and running. Now I did have to splice in with some Wagos to power the control unit. You can see the control unit is a bit different on the dual axis. So it's 6 o'clock. We got about 7 good hours, way more sunshine on day two. So we were able to harvest a lot more energy. But even though we have more sun to collect, I do want to stop because we're starting to cast a shadow here on our single axis tracker. So it would not be fair. And it's going to start skewing our results. Remember, that's what I was saying. I'm only 11 feet apart here on the two bases. So make sure you take that into account, especially if you're getting the dual axis tracker that has a lot more capacity, because that could really stretch those panels even higher, casting that shadow. So just take that into account. But let's take a look at the results. And give me some feedback. I want to know, what would you guys use this for? Is it just a DIY setup? Maybe you're powering a cabin or a shed, or are you actually looking to offset your monthly power bill? For most of us, if we're looking to completely eliminate the power bill, that's probably a professional installation. And you can check a link in the description as where I started off, just to get an idea on size and price. In a few minutes, answer some questions on your power bill, some questions on your home, and they can really give you an estimate on what you're looking at. And don't forget, there is a possibility that the 30% tax credit might be going away very soon in 2025. So you might want to actually look at that sooner rather than later if it's something you're interested in. Now for the results, I got them right in front of me. You'll see them on the screen. You can see day 2, we collected a ton more energy. Day 1, 2.5 hours, it was cloudy and rainy. We did have quite a bit of separation between single axis and dual axis, with the dual axis, like we said earlier, producing about 14% more than our baseline ground mount, and the single axis about 6% more. Now today we had 7 hours of pretty good sun the whole day, and we almost actually collected the amount of energy or capacity of the EcoFlow Delta Pro units. So I had to use those heat guns to kind of burn off some energy, so we had room to continue to put that in those units. The ground mount, single axis, and dual axis all did fantastic. Now the single axis, again, had about 6% more than the ground mount, but the dual axis didn't do quite so well at about 9% more. So why is that? If we look at a hour by hour comparison, we can see in the core of your day, starting at 11 o'clock is when the testing started, we're not really getting much benefit from trackers because the sun is directly overhead. So even ground mount faced southerly direction at a reasonable angle is going to be producing about as good as your trackers. So it's not till later on in the day where you start to see that separation in our line graphs, and then that's where the trackers are starting to shine. So in your decision for if this is the right setup, a dual axis or a single axis tracker, you're going to get the most benefit if you have wide open skies and you can really capitalize early in the morning and late at night, where you're going to get that large gap between ground mount and what a tracker can produce. If you have the room, probably just go ground mount. It's simple, it's way cheaper, and you're just not going to have the repairs long term with linear actuators and control units. But if you are limited on space and you have clear view of the sky where you're going to capitalize early morning and going late afternoon into early evening, a dual or single axis tracker might be up your alley. All in, I was $475 on the single axis tracker and $775 on the dual axis tracker. And the dual axis tracker actually does make a larger one where you can get more kilowatts on the same unit. So maybe that makes more sense for you. Let me know down in the description, what do you think, and would you actually do a tracker, or maybe you already have a tracker? Let me show you real quick how we're going to test the wind coming up on these, which is one of the Achilles heels, as they might get actually damaged in high winds. Well, you just buy an airboat like the one behind me with a big block V8 that can push wind over 102 miles per hour within 10 feet of the blades. How do I know? Well, I tested this thing before I bought it to make sure I got it there, and we got to 102.2, and it almost blew me over in the process. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We have wind testing coming up on the trackers. I'm sure we'll be doing other stuff. And on Everyday Home Repairs, we'll be doing shed wind testing and fence wind testing as well. Now, if you're just getting started and you need some baseline of wiring up your panels and making the most out of it, check out this video right here. We'll go through series, parallel, and series parallel, which are going to give you all the different configurations you need to know. And if you need some help picking the right portable power station in the 1000 watt hour category, which is a great starter unit, check out this video right here. It's where we test Jackery, but it actually combines that up to all the other units we've tested over time, so you can have the side-by-side comparison to make the right choice for your own application. So thanks for joining me in this video, and we'll catch you on one of those next ones. Take care.